Isn't he Mexican?
Colombian.
He calls himself American.
What is this?
Anchor Baby.
And in this corner, it's the American Anchor Baby.
Daddy's home.
That's an offensive term. People find that hurtful.
You mean it's not politically correct? Excuse me. I'll use the word anchor baby. You know, he's an anchor baby in Canada.
Tell him we still rolling with Trump, too.
Anchor baby, the whole thing sounds horrific. You're just making it sound like immigrants are these horrific, greedy people.
Ustedes pueden aceptar mi negocio o aceptar las consecuencias. Plata o plomo.
So you would be considered white, in my opinion.
You the blackest one in this room.
I think so.
And what happened was his mama got pregnant on the other side of the border, and then a few hours before, just before it was born, they let him fall on American soil. So he became the anchor baby. They don't call him the anchor baby for nothing. Amazing.
We like this anchor baby, right?
Hello, I'm the American Anchor Baby, and this is my show. How you doing, everybody? Tuning in here in the chair, and what a pleasure it is to be back with you today on this fine, what a fine Monday. Welcome, everybody. I'm the American Anchor Baby. We got a couple of topics to get into, many things to talk about, things going on, and whatever is on my mind. Okay, you could call in if you want to talk to me, 888-775-3773. That's the number when I'm in the chair, and that's the number you're going to want to call to get on hold to speak with me on the air. Give me a like for that rhyme. Come on, you're coming into the stream. You're enjoying yourself already. You heard a little rhyme. You're a little bit tiny, just a little tiny bit. Click the like button, okay? Maybe not yet for you. Maybe I could show you later. Maybe I could show you why you should like the stream. But one good reason is because you have manners. You have the slightest bit of decorum. You know, you come into someone's home and you don't even say hello. There's a whole chat of people here. You've yet to even say hello to them. But anyways, look, I appreciate everybody rolling in. I got people watching me on rumble.com/AmericanAnchorBaby, dlive.tv/Gorgonzola, here on YouTube, of course, and punchy.tv. It is an absolute pleasure to be back with you today. Welcoming you here from, this over the weekend. Did you enjoy yourselves? Nice weekend. We had a nice Friday stream. That was fun. Great stuff with the fellas, Daniel and Derek. We did not take a flight like we had originally planned. But we had fun, I think, anyways. I'm sure. I know I did. I hope so. I hope all of you enjoyed it on Friday. It was a nice little thing we had going on. Am I still streaming? Excellent connection. Okay, never mind. I think we're back. But like I said, I hope you enjoyed Friday's show. We did it a little bit different. I hope to do that again with the fellas. Pre-Mike Tyson vibes. We were watching, seeing what might happen. Hold on. We were just sorry, something's in my eye. Apologies. It's pretty bad. I think we're okay. But we were chatting with the fellas, with the boys on the Friday about Mike Tyson's fight and many other things. Okay, we got into many things. The Trinity even came up. Oh my gosh, the Trinity. Why do I have to believe? If I believe in all three parts, why do I have to go an extra step? I believe Jesus. I believe in the Son, the Father, and the Holy Spirit. Why do I have to go an extra step in my belief here? Maybe I'm the ignorant one, but I'm waiting for someone to explain that one to me. Apologies here. Hold on. What the? But, yeah, those were the vibes on Friday. Mike Tyson lost. We know this. We saw first round. It was looking bad for me personally. And though that was Friday night, Jake Paul, Mike Tyson, I made the safe bet. And, of course, the safe bet was how it went down. I don't think anyone expected that, though, from Mike Tyson. I'm pretty sure no one really expected his legs to not really be functioning for that fight. That was, I think, a surprise for everybody. Or maybe not everybody, but I think a lot of the people, even those somewhat aware of boxing, I mean, you would have to think, you have to wonder, what was Mike thinking? I just wonder exactly what he was thinking. I personally think he thought he could give him a good couple of rounds, but his legs were particularly out of commission that night. Maybe even a surprise to him. I don't know, but there was another fight. There was another fight Saturday. That was UFC Saturday. Where are my UFC people at? Sometimes y'all are here in the chat, but that was a big fight Saturday, right? John Jones. I think it was two Americans, right? Two Americans fighting. John Jones and Stipe Miocic. Pretty sure that's how you say that name. He's born in Ohio. Okay, don't judge. Stipe Miocic, what kind of name? No, he's born in Ohio. John Jones. Some people in my chat seen it. Trump walked in like a boss. I know many of you saw that. The boys, the men, the alphas, walking in like a crew, like a tough crew coming into UFC. Trump flanked by Elon Musk, Kid Rock, Tulsi, RFK, Don Jr., Dana White. These are the team. These are the people flanking him as he walked into roaring crowds. UFC 309. I think it was even at Madison Square Garden. That might be true. I don't know. But they're coming in to the music and the roaring crowds. This crew looks pretty tough, maybe. Depends on who you ask. But they're looking like a team. Mafiosi, maybe. Mafiosi vibes. But nonetheless, roaring crowds. Cannot be denied.
Making his way to the world-famous octagon, flanked by UFC CEO Dana White, 45, soon to be 47, President-elect Donald Trump.
What? Wait, who's that? Wait, hold on. I'm a little lost. Is this the video I wanted to show? We got Dana White, Trump, coming in, bringing his men alongside with him. It's something special about that whole vibe. By the way, calls were coming in, 888-775-3773 if you want to talk to the anchor baby. But, he's coming in, bringing the men alongside with him. This boss look, just this energy, and you notice he's doing this a lot more, going around, flanked by his entourage, Elon Musk and these new players in the game alongside with Trump. It's kind of a huge vibe. It's kind of a huge, the spirit, okay? The waves coming from Trump will be tsunamis tomorrow. Mark my words, okay? The forces that he's awoken, the people, the young men who he's inspired, okay? The forces that hate masculinity, I promise you, which are aligned with Satan, himself, okay? If you hate masculinity, you hate God, you're aligned with Satan. They hate the influence of even something as simple as this is having. The roaring crowds, the men, the masculinity, they're doing their thing. They're doing the, oh, look, he's seen his friend Rogan. He's seen his friend Rogan. Wait, oh, no, there he is. Rogan, look, give me a hug, Rogan, give me a hug. You come here, you son of a... And look, the vibes, it's immaculate. It matters, because they're coming out lately with all sorts of stuff. They're saying the boys are at fault for this and that. They're giving them crap. Look, they're coming out with the op-ed pieces, and you can't even see it because they got a stupid paywall. New York Times, I'm 16, and on November 6th, the girls cried, and the boys played Minecraft. Don't they know the girls are losing rights? They're talking about election night when Trump won. And so, that's what's coming out all on the left, on the right. It's coming out on the news. As this is coming out and they're blaming the boys for this and that, they're singing songs right now. They're very popular songs that are on TikTok and mainstream media, singing about how women are cattle and how the boys aren't paying attention. It's like, aren't you even paying attention? The women are cattle. So they're singing the songs that women are cattle. And they're saying the boys are doing this and that. So it's amazing to see the immaculate masculine vibes coming out here with Trump and the roaring cheers. Look at this guy, Mike Johnson. Wait, hold on. This is Mike Johnson right there. The Speaker of the House right now? Mike Johnson. He's got a little bit of a saga. He became Speaker of the House, the 56th Speaker of the United States House of Representatives in October 2023, following this saga with Kevin McCarthy. You remember? Has he earned? Do you think he's earned this? Look at him doing finger guns. Look at him doing finger guns to the crowd. The crowd is cheering for, Trump and maybe Dana White and Elon Musk. I don't know if they're really cheering, roaring for you, Mike Johnson. Has he earned this, you think, fellas? Has he earned this? He was supposed to be super based, take over for Kevin McCarthy. I don't know if he really has been. I know he did hem and haw with his promises, but eventually I heard he came through. No, he released all the footage, or at least a lot of the January 6th footage of these patriots, of who were rowdy and were doing things wrong at the Capitol, but also the vast majority of which were barely doing anything at all. Come on. And so I think he may have come through with some of this footage. Mike Johnson with the finger guns. Has he earned the finger guns? Look at him go. They're cheering. Really? There he goes with the finger guns, Mike Johnson. Bow, bow. Yeah. I'm your Republican House Speaker. Johnson sellout. I don't think he's earned the finger guns according to my chat, at least. Some of y'all are waiting for more. They need more. Some of you guys need a little bit more from Mike Johnson. Go, Mike Johnson. Look at this. He got to do another finger guns. Mike, Republican, Mike Johnson. He's come through a little bit, no? With the finger guns. Has he come through a little bit? You guys remember a little bit of the saga McCarthy. You know, McCarthy, he was supposed to, the whole thing with McCarthy is, I mean, whoa, hold on. We're having some trouble here. We need Little Nick to become Big Nick. Look, you see we got new powers, new abilities. Little Nick can become Big Nick. In the blink of an eye. But if you remember, McCarthy was removed from his position. Matt Gaetz was involved in this. You see, McCarthy, it was hard to get him to become the Speaker of the House. Fractured Congress, fractured Republican Party. They're all fighting. They're saying he's not good enough. Is he really going to do the right thing? What is the right thing in that case? It was to basically not spend so much on dumb things and be actually Republican. Deal with the border was a big one too. And he said after 15, they had 15 rounds of trying to confirm him. And it was just like, no, over and over again. Finally, he says, let me in and I'll make a provision where you can oust me. I'll make it very easy. And that's exactly what happened. Matt Gaetz followed a motion to vacate, left the House without a leader. Mike Johnson comes in. Has he been much better? I don't know. McCarthy, they called them the hard right members of the GOP, the House Freedom Caucus. They basically felt McCarthy had reneged on his promises about spending cuts, deep spending cuts, and the border, and demands of conservative policy. It just wasn't good enough for them. And they said no. And so they got him out. That was the whole saga back then. Mike Johnson, now we got him, finger guns coming out, UFC with Trump. Anyways, John Jones, one of the fighters, the one who won, a major fan of Trump, showing a major support, giving him the belt and everything, letting him hold his belt that he just won. Look at the shout out, the energy for Trump.
Americans, largely historically, have realized the most success in the UFC. And the greatest American fighter of all time is that man, John Bones Jones, now successful.
Do they have a corrido going on right now? Do they have what's going on? Is John Jones Mexican? What's going on here? I don't know much about this guy at all.
Largely historically have realized the most success in the UFC. And the greatest American fighter of all time is that
Who's got the narco songs going on?
Successful in the first defense of his heavyweight title. Bud Light, the official beer sponsor of UFC. Easy to celebrate, easy to enjoy.
Incredible. I just wanted to show you the major support for the president, Donald Trump. Donald Trump. In this case, maybe. Donald Trump could very well be what I mean in this case. Just the cheers, the support. Could there be a major shift in culture? There might be, and I want to show that to you here in a moment. 888-775-3773 if you want to call in. Major changes in the culture might be, it starts with some of the people that are around Trump, about make America healthy again, they're saying. Some are saying it's time to make America healthy again. Some are calling this guy a little too off the deep end, wacky with some of his theories and thoughts on health. But he has a massive following. May even be in Trump's cabinet. I believe he was picked to head something to do with health. That's the story, I think. I want to get that part correct. But yeah, I'm talking about RFK Jr. There's an amazing picture going around right now. You know, he's supposed to be this Make America Healthy guy. And you saw, I showed him to you the other day, him threatening actually going after, might actually be going after our cereal. Our cereal. They might actually go after our sugary, lovely, healthy, iron-enriched cereal. And I'm joking a little bit. It may not be that totally healthy. I'm not a big sugar hater like a bunch of these people who follow a fad, follow anti-carb, anti-sugar fads. I'm not one of these people. But I'm not going to go around and say everything I'm eating is just healthy. Like, I don't know about that. That being said, it's a major issue for me if RFK Jr. is going to be in Trump's cabinet, as late night cereal is a major issue. I might be a one issue voter. I don't know. We'll see. It's a little too late now, I guess. No refunds. I already bought Trump. But RFK Jr.'s face says it all as he eats poison McDonald's aboard Trump Force One. They got him, boys. They got him. They pictured him. They got him in a photo eating some of the slop, some of this McDonald's slop. No way they got him in a picture, folks. No. How could it be? RFK Jr., look at what they've done to my boy. Look at his face. Was this an impromptu photo? I don't know if he really wanted to take this photo. I wonder how this conversation went down. All right, who's getting what? All right, RFK, what are you getting? What are you getting, RFK? I'm getting myself a Filet-O-Fish, he says. Trump says, a Filet-O-Fish and a Big Mac. Is that a Big Mac box? It might be a Big Mac box. Are we doing some investigation? Big Mac box. We're going to need some forensics, some investigations. No, this is not what we need. We need what a Big Mac box looks like right now. Big Mac box 2024. What does it look like? I don't know, folks. I'm a bad investigator. I'm doing bad detective work here, but we got what looks like maybe two burgers. Two burgers for the president. It looks like maybe a Filet-O-Fish. He got himself a little Fanta. Is that Fanta, Mr. President? Little Fanta, two burgers, no fries type action. Okay. Elon Musk with the burg, fries, and nuggets. Oh, a sophisticated man. A sophisticated man. The nuggets, fries, and the burg. We got sweet and sour and barbecue sauce with 2 packs of McDonald's ketchup for the Elon Musk. Don Jr. flaunting his large fries and what might be some kind of burg. We got a burg. Might be quarter pounders, actually. Do we got QPCs? We got QPCs, 30,000 plus feet in the air. This is an emergency. Mike Johnson in the back, no McDonald's in tow. RFK Jr. with a little Coca-Cola, a classic, man. I do like it. I'm a classic, man. RFK Jr. singing the song, I'm a classic, man, with that Coca-Cola there. I'm impressed, RFK Jr., a man of the people. But yeah, a face of pain maybe, as you can see on RFK Jr. as this photo was snapped. He's saying, "Oh no, please don't post that. Oh no, please don't post that." He's thinking. That's the haul. That's the haul on Trump Force One. Great haul, boys. Personally, if you ask me, great haul. Iron. Yeah, he's got the face of a man who does not want to be pictured as the head of some health, whatever the health thing they wanted to be heading. The Daily Mails and different publications are having a field day with this right now. I mean, I don't know what he wants to do with cereal. I heard cereal. I heard my beautiful cereal, my beautiful Fruit Loops, and otherwise are enriched with iron, I heard. I heard they're iron enriched. RFK Jr., are you going to give us Geritol? alongside, after you take away our cereal, what are we going to do for iron then? We're going to have tired blood. RFK Jr., if you're not careful. Honey, the house is a mess. Honey, I'm home. Why is the house a mess? She says, I don't know. I'm just tired. Okay, well, I'll shoot you in the face. Just kidding. It's a 1960s commercial. Iron poor, tired blood? Try some Geritol. Oh my gosh, honey, you've done an amazing job. Where are you getting all this energy from, might I ask?
Check with your doctor. And if you're tired because of iron poor blood, Geritol can help you feel stronger fast. Maybe not this fast, but fast.
Wow. Geritol, where can I get me some? Might I ask? Whoa, Nickception, we don't need that. RFK Jr., can you promise that for my wife? Can you promise those effects for my wife? Huh? I don't know. I'm a single issue voter. Anyways, Geritol, we're just messing around a little bit with the Trump vibes. Trump going around seemingly 4, 5, 6 deep at all times, like a gang leader, like a leader of a gang for Christ. Look, I'm just rambling at this point. But that's Make America Healthy Again. Funny stuff. I mean, all this, so that I can get to some of this Trump cabinet pick drama saga going on right now, if I may, for a moment. What's got people? They got the media and all sorts of different people. They're mad. They're saying this Matt Gaetz guy is a mess of a pick. They're talking about the opposition that Matt Gaetz is going to have to face to be sworn in and confirmed as Attorney General. You may have heard a little bit of buzz on Trump's cabinet picks that some of them are eyebrow raising. Some of them, people wonder, will they? Many are saying some of these are going to face an uphill battle in Trump's transition for his cabinet picks and all that. So he's already making a stir with some of these Trump cabinet picks for a number of reasons. Matt Gaetz being one of them, for Attorney General, to head Attorney General. I mean, basically to be the head of the Department of Justice, the top guy. Okay, and Trump is seemingly pretty determined to have Matt Gaetz run the Department of Justice, okay? These are the controversial picks. 2 of these controversial picks are on the news cycle lately. That's Matt Gaetz, Pete Hegseth. I've mentioned them before. This Pete guy, Fox News contributor type person with the tattoos and the Christian tattoos and all that mess, okay? They're getting a lot of media attention, especially with these recent nominations by the president-elect, as they call him. So that's a little bit of the news with that. And I want to get into that with Matt and all that. If you'll allow me here for a second, let me pull it all up. Matt Gaetz, you may have heard of him, Florida. U.S. Representative for Florida. Part of that House Freedom Caucus, that group inside of the Republican group, aligned with Trump. So, yeah. And with him being nominated for the position of Attorney General, he actually, I believe, though, I don't know if he's already stepped down, but the way this is going to work is he steps down from being a representative on his way for this whole nomination process to become Attorney General. And Pete Hegseth, he's from Minnesota, former Army, former Army, National Guard. Okay. He's been a commentator. They could say they call them political commentators for Fox News from back in 2017, since 2014 actually. Been around. I know I've seen him on Fox over the years. And that's them. Those are the fellas. And so what's the major controversy? Well, it's these allegations, okay? So they are Trump's nominations. That's Matt Gaetz for Attorney General. And Pete Hegseth is nominated for United States Secretary of Defense. Now, what's got the media and what is the controversy they're talking about? Why are these guys going to have an uphill battle, as they're describing, to become Trump's picks? Well, it centers around these allegations that are coming out against them. Matt Gaetz has had this rumors and stuff about these minors around him for a little bit now. Ever since Pete Hegseth got picked for his position, well, what happens is you get nominated, and then you get a bunch of background checks. And it turns out in this background check, something may have come up with Pete Hegseth. It has to do with so-called hush money, some kind of hush money payments, some kind of money paid off to someone so that they wouldn't come forth with this or that. Some agreement that was made. And you know, this term hush money, as I've said before, it's really a misnomer. It implies coercion, like forceful coercion of an agreement, when it's usually a legal and consensual agreement. So, so these lawsuits come against Matt Gaetz, which he denies any wrongdoing, by the way. And so, whatever, there's allegations there. He says there was never any sex or payment done to any minor. That's what he said. And so that's what's going down there. The choice, this is from CNN, the choice has led to tension between House and Senate Republicans over the fate of the ethics investigation, which was stalled and potentially permanently shelved by Gaetz's resignation from Congress. So there's this investigation against Gaetz. His resignation in preparation for this Attorney General nomination seems to have put that whole ethics committee that it was investigating, it puts it away. It puts it away, and the information that was found or gathered through that makes it irrelevant all of a sudden. So that's what comes from him stepping down. And I honestly don't care about all that mess. Based Mike Johnson is saying he's opposed to the committee releasing the investigation, even as other Republican senators are saying they would like to see what is in the House ethics probe. Very nice, based Mike Johnson. That's a stone. That's no one's business. Okay. As far as I'm concerned, right? But why am I talking about this? Because they keep talking about this uphill battle for Matt Gaetz and this uphill battle for Trump's cabinet picks. But the question then comes, where is this opposition coming from? Who is going to be opposing Trump's cabinet picks? Because it comes to mind that the 119th Congress, the incoming Congress that'll be sworn in January 3rd, which will be there in place in preparation for January 20th for Trump's inauguration. All of this in preparation for Trump's cabinet, because all of these cabinet picks, or at least a whole bunch of them, need to be confirmed through the Senate. And all this must happen for a smooth transition. Well, this very 119th Congress I'm talking about will be majority Republican in both the Senate and the House. You understand this? They're regaining it in the Senate, retaining it in the House. 53 majority in the Senate, 218 majority representatives in the House. That is the reality of the situation. That is the incoming Congress. It'll be majority Republican. And this transition, which will be of about 4,000 to 5,000 positions that need to change during a presidential transition, that's how this is done. about 4,000 to 5,000 positions need to change. About 1,200 of these have to be picked by the Senate, by Congress or whatever. Okay? You understand? And this whole process, well, how are these cabinet picks chosen? Well, the president nominates them. Once they are nominated, the president's transition team starts vetting the candidates to ensure they meet qualifications. There's a number of qualifications. And then they make decisions on whether they can stand public or congressional scrutiny. That still doesn't mean they get to go against this nomination. So whatever they say about it, this is all part of the president's transition team. So they can say whatever they want about it, but the pick is nominated. The background checks happen. And then the Senate confirmation process begins. And essentially, it's like a vote. Essentially, it's a vote. And a simple majority is required for this confirmation. Okay? And then they swear you in, blah, blah, blah. Okay? Sometimes, if it's a particularly controversial one, they'll duke it out. Maybe there's things that make some of the Senate members feel like that's not a good pick, like some sort of allegations or something, whatever. And so they'll duke it out with the vote. All this to say what? Because with these realities in mind, then it is only reasonable to say that the only true source of opposition in a situation such as this, where Trump and the Republicans have the majority in the Senate, in the House, in the incoming Congress, then the only source of opposition is coming from the Republican Party themselves. You understand? Now that you understand the situation, in this situation, the only source of real opposition is coming from the Republicans. Because it's a simple majority, you understand? So it's really the Republican themselves who are opposing people like Matt Gaetz, who are bringing all sorts of criticisms and poo-pooing Trump's picks. That's the opposition. I mean, even if you read this article from CNN, they start actually naming some of these people who are already expressing opposition, expressing poo-pooing, whatever, Trump's picks and his cabinet picks, okay? Senator Lisa Murkowski of Alaska called Matt Gaetz an unserious pick. Lisa Murkowski, a Republican from Alaska, she is a Trump hater. She did not support him 2016, did not support him 2020, declared she absolutely would not support him in 2024, and in fact even threatened to leave the Republican Party over it. So she's a Trump hater. Susan Collins is a Trump basically a Trump hater, voted to impeach him, didn't support, wrote in Nikki Haley for 2024. She announced her intention to write in Nikki Haley's name on the ballot. So that's who you got there, Susan Collins. Joni Ernst, she's all right. I think she likes Trump, basically. But she's saying Matt Gaetz has a lot of work to do. The women, Senator Kevin Cramer, Republican guy, whatever. So the opposition really is from the Republicans. The opposition is from within. That's really when you're seeing these articles saying the uphill battle for Matt Gaetz, the uphill battle is from the Republicans. It's from the enemy from within. You understand? It makes me think about Trump's mandate. Trump and his win, it's like the people picked him. The people beyond picked Trump at this point. So can we show a little bit can we represent that a little bit? There has to be, so at some point, when are they going to realize that? Look at who the people picked. It's like Trump, the people picked Trump, the establishment, this is how it went down in summary from 2016 in a bird's eye view. The people picked Trump, the establishment didn't want to believe it. They didn't want to believe it. They battled it every step of the way. And then Trump had to prove it to them in another election in what might be called one of the greatest comeback in American history, quite possibly. So he proves it there. Can we represent that a little bit? But anyways, 888-775-3773. Trump's mandate. You know, it's like they picked Trump. They've basically said, you know what, Trump? Do it how you want to do it. Remake America a little bit in your image. So anyways, let me finish up with this whole Trump's picks, cabinets, this whole fiasco. Because there's like this, what seems to be an actual fight over what captures the American institutions. I mean, you got to understand that this is the Department of Justice. And that the Department of Justice could go after Trump the way they tried to. They tried to stop him from running as president. They tried to stop Trump from running as president. Lawfare, going after him on things that they wouldn't go after Biden on. The documents, this and that, the absolute disrespect, maybe the word of justice itself with the level of evidence they used against Trump in some of this stuff. Like the sexual abuse case, an adjudicated sexual abuser. And what is the level of evidence they used? Oh, well, he said he grabs them by the thing sometimes. Oh, yeah, let's convict him. It's crazy. So that the DOJ could do something like this, you know, you might hear that and think, well, prove it. That sounds insane. Are there really people in America that would do that in a position of power? Are there really people in America, in an American government, that would do that? It almost sounds like make-believe, right? It almost sounds like make-believe when I put it that way, but let me put it in different terms. Let me call it social justice. What if I called millions of Americans terrorists or supportive of terrorism? I bet I could do a lot of things to those Americans. Look, what I'm getting at is the mentality of people like Merrick Garland, who's basically the head of the DOJ right now. When you believe the Department of Justice express purpose aligns with things like the Civil Rights Act, like Merrick Garland has said, then it makes sense. Lawyers of that mentality, they don't really see justice the same way as normal Christian Americans, okay? So it becomes a little easier to believe such a thing. Okay, so that's the DOJ. And so that's the DOJ for you a little bit, okay? Trump's picks and just the possibilities. Just the possibilities of what is possible with a brand new government. What do y'all think? 888-775-3773. Thank you so much for the super chats. Let's do this real quick before I go on about this on the possibilities, folks. I want you to think about something here in a moment. On what could be possible. Kelly, thank you so much, Kelly, for the coffees over there. buymeacoffee.com/anchorbaby. Appreciate that. Thank you very much. Oh, man, that is hilarious, Carver. I was thinking something similar. Carver with the super chat says, Trump made RFK eat Mickey D's to test his loyalty. Doesn't this photo feel like, Bill, doesn't this photo feel like some kind of gangster meetup where they make sure that the new guy isn't a Fed, and so they make him try some of the drugs? You know what I mean? It's like to make sure that you're cool. Have you seen this photo, Bill, of RFK Jr., Elon Musk, Trump? They're all eating McDonald's on Trump Force One. You see RFK's face of pain, like, oh, I didn't know they were going to take a picture of me eating this stuff. I'm supposed to be the America's healthy guy. Bill's laughing. You said, does he? What do you think? Is this kind of the vibes of we got to make sure he's cool, sure he's not a Fed. Hey, we want to see you eating the McDonald's. Oh man. Yeah. It's like so Trump could make sure he's not going to be too much of a wild card. He made sure that we got him on picture. Got him immortalized in an image eating some of that McDonald's. You know what I mean? Make sure he's not going to be too much of a wild card. Make sure that he could still be controlled. Amazing super chat, Carver. Thank you for that. Funny stuff. Thank you for that, great Chef Z. Thank you for the super chat. Says, I like rice. I like rice too, man. Me too. Terry Strange with the super chat says, what are you talking about, Nick? Chat's talking dogs. Wait, what? What are you talking about, Terry? I was just like bloviating for like an hour. I don't know what y'all were talking about in chat. If you guys were talking about something else, I was on something else for like an hour. So I don't know if you guys were talking about something completely different in the chat. But thank you for the super chat, Terry Strange. Am I misunderstanding this? It says, what are you talking about, Nick? Chat's talking dogs. What? Are you laughing that this image is coming through my shirt a little bit because it's green? Yeah. Green screen. Okay, let's see here. How do we fix that? We do this. I don't even know if that fixes it. I might still go through there a little bit. Beef it with a super chat says talking dogs, no one listening to you. So it's true? Are my initial suspicions true? Is Terry talking about a completely different conversation? Nick keeps it professional when he's in the studio. Carver knows this. We're in the chair, okay? Show some decorum. So that's the super chats over there. Appreciate it. Thank you, Rumble. Thank you, D-Live. Appreciate the support. Thank you, Misty. Super chat from Z, Great Chef Z says, there will never be another Sith Lord like Trunk. Not for 100 years. America great again for 1,000 years. We took the Senate and voted out Sith Biden. Thanks for the lore there, Great Chef Z, and the super chat. Appreciate that. Lore and super chat. Thank you. I think that's all the super chats. I believe that's all for now. We're refreshing. Just a quick little refresh. But what's so special about dogs? You guys always talk about unimportant things anyways. It's either the Bible this, dogs that. What nonsense are you talking about now? You know, it's like the other day I'm in the Discord and I see it's like they're discussing Jesus. They're discussing Jesus and they're talking about everything but, you know, love your enemies. They're discussing if he's God. It's truly silly, but you know what? You're allowed to talk about whatever you want to talk about in my Discord. You know what I mean? And by the way, if you want to join that Discord, it's in the chat. I mean, it's in the description to this video if you want to be part of the Discord. Appreciate that. All right, y'all. Let's keep it moving here. Let's keep it moving. The enemy is from within. Opposition to Trump coming from his camp. That's all that. Trump rolling around deep. But I did want to talk about shifts in the culture, possibly. Big signs of a culture shift. Could it be with the massive change in Trump support? Is it a change is there a change in the culture looming, a major one? All the fears that people have of, some people have fears of the direction in America. Should we keep going on in this direction? What are we going to see? No jobs for white people. An unfettered immigration supported by your neighbors and the employees and all that. It's the right thing to do, they'll say. Could it be there are signs that all that might not be true? Maybe. With these big changes on who's supporting Trump. Let me show you a graph. I was just talking about the possibilities. What's possible with Trump presidency, with all this talk about efficiency even. What could efficiency mean for you, the average American? What could it all mean? Let me show you a graph. Look at all these lines. Look at all these lines and numbers. What you're looking at is a particular consumer good service, a particular consumer good or service, and its price tracked over time. Okay? And if it goes down, it becomes more affordable. If it goes up, it means it's become more expensive over time. The TV, the TV in America has had an amazing run, becoming cheaper and cheaper and cheaper over the years, almost 100% cheaper. Right? This curve, the TV curve, is the type of curve we could see on all sorts of consumer goods and services if only we were efficient. The possibilities, folks, your lack of imagination is concerning. The possibilities. Look at all these things that are just more and more expensive. Food and beverages, housing, average hourly wages, childcare, college textbooks, tuition, hospital service. Look at hospital services are out like through the roof. I heard there are no doctors. There's really very low gains in actual doctors, but the health industry keeps adding administrators like never before. There's like way more administrators to doctors. Just a bunch of paper pushers, HR people, inflation. We're talking about inflation of many different kinds. Okay? The possibilities, folks, your lack of imagination with Doge and Elon and Silicon Valley backing up President Donald Trump. What could it look like? I don't know. What do y'all think? What do y'all think? It could look like many things, maybe. It's significant because there's been a major shift. We're talking about shifts here, cultural shifts. There's been, before we get to that, there's definitely been a big money shift and a cultural shift in a particular subset of America, Silicon Valley, they call it, where all the big tech millionaires and billionaires are. And these people, you got to understand, were major Hillary supporters, huge Democratic supporters, like major blue Hillary, vote blue type people for a long time. And it's been a major shift with Trump. Much has been written, this is from Inc., much has been written about the dramatic about faces by top Silicon Valley figures who within the past 24 months swapped their previous support of Democrats and President Joe Biden in particular to rally to Trump's campaign. These include venture capitalist Mark Andreessen. Why is that name significant? Hold on. Anyways, look, Mark Andreessen, These are the big players of Silicon Valley who, within the past 24 months, swapped their previous support. Chamath, some Indian name. 𝒏𝒊𝒂𝒎, David Sachs. These are names you got to remember. Some of them at least. Chamath and David at least. And Palantir CEO Doug Leonis, as well as longer-term Trump backers like Peter Thiel and more recent but much louder enthusiast Elon Musk. Okay? These are some of the major players and major money that has flipped in the background in Silicon Valley. In addition to those full-bore converts to Trump's cause, many tech executives who strongly denounced his 2016 victory and opposed his policy initiatives, especially on immigration, have also modified their positions. Those include Google CEO Sundar Pichai, who at one point joined a 2017 protest against the presidential travel ban. Also amongst those anti-Trump ranks were Uber boss Dara, I don't know how to say this last name, OpenAI co-founder Sam Altman, who on election night 2016 tweeted, "Tonight we cry, we despair, we fear." What drama queens. What absolute drama queens. So these are the tech CEOs. So in 2016, this guy tweeted, "Tonight we cry, we despair, and we fear." So now they've totally flipped. Cue to last Wednesday, when the same Altman posted on the Musk-owned social platform X, "Congrats to President Trump. I wish for his huge success in the job." Striking a similarly celebratory tone, Apple CEO Tim Cook joined the chorus. "Congratulations, President Trump, on your victory. We look forward to engaging with you and your administration," blah, blah, blah. Are these signs of a major shift, folks? Could it be a major shift in the culture? It just might be. Honestly. I mean, you remember when I was telling you about Boeing making a huge flip on DEI. They had these DEI departments that they totally scrapped. They just got rid of them. And of course, the cries came out of racism and look, oh, what are they going to do? What are black people going to do? Blah, blah, blah. And Boeing didn't care. And they're joining, like New York Post says, joining major companies in scrapping controversial policy. They're not the only ones. All this talk on X, Elon Musk pointing out this and that company for putting DEI ahead of anything else. Major changes in the politics and cultures of companies around America. It could very well be. Not something to ignore. DEI might be dead. What do y'all think? What do y'all think? 888-775-3773. I see you on hold. I'm about to get to you. But I mentioned Silicon Valley. And before I wrap this up and get to calls, I have to tell you about this. On this whole immigration stuff, we're talking about Trump's mandate, his authority to rule as given to him by the people and the voters, made that much stronger by just how decisive his win was this time. That's what I mean by his mandate. I wanted to talk about this a little bit, considering immigration for a moment. You just got finished hearing from some of these ventures, some of these names I just mentioned. David Sachs, Chamath, I believe is how you pronounce that. 𒒏𝒊𝒂𝒎. David Sachs. These are some of these big players with big money in Silicon Valley that are now supporting Trump. And I wanted to talk about this a little bit because everybody wants something from Trump right now. And it looks like a little bit of a tug of war might go down. Allow me to explain what I mean. A little bit of a tug of war might go down because Trump's base, they want something to get done with the border, immigration. You've heard even Trump himself say, on day one, I'm going to enact the largest mass deportation, blah, 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 that he's been talking about, okay? And I just mentioned David Sachs. You see, a bunch of these tech guys, they're actually friends, and they actually have a podcast together. It's called the All In Podcast. And on this podcast, one of the hosts, 𝒏𝒊𝒄𝒌𝒔𝒕𝒓𝒆𝒂𝒎, I don't know how to pronounce that, asks David Sachs exactly about this, about immigration. And I want you to hear how this Jason guy, the type of questions he's asking David Sachs, one of these major players around Trump. I want you to see some of this, okay? This is Jason. And here he's about to ask David Sachs about immigration. He's about to express some of his concerns for a Trump presidency. Because he likes some things Trump says, but then other things scare him. So I want you to just watch this. Let's watch this together. Jason on deportation.
Now, some of the things he promised, like the mass deportation of 15 million people, I think a lot of people, even on this podcast, probably don't agree with. I don't think anybody here wants to see 15 million people who came here to have a better life and who are working hard and who are productive members of our society literally get dragged out of here. The 500,000 that are criminals or a million, sure, nobody wants to see them get a free pass here. But, there's going to be some of the items on his agenda that are going to be very uncomfortable to see executed. And some of them would be amazing and miracles. If he comes in and all of a sudden, Ukraine war is settled, fantastic. If he starts dragging 1 million people every, 2 or 3 months out of the country, that could be absolutely disastrous and incredibly hard to watch happen in America. So we got to judge him based on his actions.
That's great.
Let's give him the support he needs. And I really hope, the thing that gives me hope is the fact that Sachs, Chamath, Elon, and J.D. Vance are by his side. I think my closing statement on all of this is y'all were a key part in putting Trump in, obviously. And if he starts behaving in the way he behaved during his first term, the darker things he did, I hope that y'all will call him on it and publicly call him on it, and that he will steer towards, his better angels. And that's my hope for America and my hope for all of you who helped put him in office and played a very significant role in getting him here. When he does something crazy, if he does try to drag 15 million people out of the country, is that okay with you, Sachs?
Well, you said that he would start with 1 million of people, 500,000 to 1 million who are clear criminals. He should do that.
Well, that's what J.D. Vance said, and we all agree on that.
J.D. said that the way you
What about the other 14?
He said that the way that you do deportations is the same way you eat an elephant. You do it one bite at a time. You eat a sandwich. So the way you eat an elephant is you do it one bite at a time. Let's start with the biggest criminals, the biggest people who shouldn't be here, and then let's see what happens after that. And look,
if he went after the other 14 million, what would you be in support of that?
We haven't gotten there yet. The point is you take the first bite of the sandwich, then you talk about the second bite.
Nice, David Sachs. Don't give him an answer on that. Don't leave it open. I don't know what David Sachs might mean exactly, but right on, David Sachs. We're not even there yet. You're talking about a future and you're talking about fear. And he's like, oh, we don't want to see that, right? This Jason guy says, we don't want to see that, right? And he assumes this malice. That's what I don't like about this whole thing. He assumes this malice in the people that wish to see illegals deported. And then the repetition of these weird numbers. He says almost, like, you understand that almost 8 million entered under Biden alone? Under Biden's presidency alone, almost 8 million people entered. And he's saying, 14, we really don't want to see 15 million people who just want a better life literally get dragged out. What kind of language is this? This is weakness. This is weakness and undermining of Trump. And undermining of the rule of law. What do you mean? What are you crying about? Why do you want him to stay so bad? I always wondered that too. The people who talk like that when they're in positions like this, I wonder, are you guys really surrounded by that many illegals that you would really hate to see go? I find that hard to believe. And so now suddenly I start getting suspicious because usually my emotions get tugged at when some ulterior motive wants to get enacted, but whatever. So let's just assume he cares about these immigrants and doesn't want to see them get dragged out. But he uses this language like American citizens are wrong for wanting the rule of law, for dealing with that. And he uses these numbers that make me think, well, do you even know what you're talking about when you say 15 million people? 8 million alone entered under Biden. Only 500,000 are criminals, or maybe 1 million. Like, how are you getting these numbers? Because you're already on how many illegals are in America. It sounds like you're using some of these fake numbers. You know, they say 11 million, and they've been saying 11 million for years, decades now, and you want to throw out 14 like it's a nice adjusted number? Okay, it's a lot higher than that. So how can I trust you? I hope if he starts acting against his better angels, I hope that y'all, he's talking to David Sachs, he's talking to Kamath and whatever, these people the Silicon Valley big players who supported Trump, I hope when he does something crazy that you'll come out. So what? If Trump is going to actually enact the will of the people, these Silicon Valley people are going to come out and say, hey, but that's racist. You can't deport people. Is that what we're going to deal with? It makes me wonder how deep the mandate really goes. It makes me wonder how deep Trump's mandate really goes. I wonder if most of his own supporters, I wonder how many of his own supporters would start flipping on him if they started having wall-to-wall coverage of families getting deported or something like that. Like, honestly, most people don't get it. So these are some of these big players around Trump, and what might set up what is the beginnings of a setup of what might be a bit of a tug of war during Trump's presidency. We'll wait and see on all that, but that's a little bit about what was on my mind on a shift in America. It could be the beginnings of a big shift, folks. Whether it's cultural in many ways. Okay, so here we are. We're watching. Okay, that's what I wanted to present to y'all. Okay, appreciate the super chats, folks. Thank you so much, Kelly. With another coffee says, I'm not sure what you mean by this, Kelly. Nick, I didn't hear your question at the beginning. Would you repeat, please? I didn't have a question. You mean a question for you, Kelly? Just back up the video. But thanks for the coffee on buymeacoffee.com. Appreciate that, Kelly. Very nice. More super chats here. Very, very nice. New guy. The new guy stays new in the chat with a super chat says, hi, guys. Great Chef Z with a super chat says, we about to hit an iceberg. What do we do? Pray. Harmony Grits. That's funny. With some union dues. Thank you, Harmony, for that. Appreciate it. John Zimmer with the super chat says, stand up tariff or sit down. Stand up tariff or sit down. Maybe a commentary on Trump's tariffs, Trump's incoming tariffs. It might be very, very nice. And I believe that's all the support for now. Thank you, Ohio Sentinel, over there on rumble.com/American Anchor Baby. Beautiful stuff. Okay, I wanted to do this. I want to get to this call. Appreciate you holding patiently. And then we got some more stuff for y'all. 888-775-3773. We have a caller on the air. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Hi, this is Terry. I'm calling from Oregon.
What's up, Terry? Appreciate your call. Go ahead.
Hey. Yeah. I was inspired to call because I wanted to make note of how many people this election who I wouldn't suspect of supporting Donald Trump did.
You cut out there for a moment for me. What was it that you just said?
Sorry. Yeah. I've noticed there were a number of people in my circle, people I know peripherally, who, are lifelong liberals or like leftists of one variety or another. And a lot of them have, voted Republican for the first time in their lives and supported Donald Trump with this past election. So I think it's interesting to see that. And I didn't expect with the last segment you had that there would be these Silicon Valley types also doing the same. I just think it's interesting that people are having this change of heart around him.
Big time. Overton window, as they call it, no?
Yeah.
Like a shift in the in the general consensus amongst people and what's allowed to be discussed and talked about.
Yeah, or even I think a lot of just policy as well. A lot of it comes down to policies or just what's best for the country. I think, too, a lot of people have had an awakening about the reality of, how out of control the immigration situation to the country is, at least undocumented immigration. And I've noticed, too, a number of, women who I knew peripherally from feminist activism coming and supporting Trump because of his hard stand on the trans issue.
Amazing.
So,
I was going to ask you further, even what else do you think that is, that people seemingly switching. And I've noticed that anecdotally in my life, and hearing that from your call, I appreciate it, because there's a shift. I think it's it's waiting in the wings. It's growing critical mass.
Mm.
Why else do you think that is?
I think because Trump is, he's not a normal party politician. So he hasn't spent his entire life, towing some kind of fake conservative line or fake liberal line. He's just been kind of, building and being successful in his own right. So as he's come into things, I think maybe he brings a freshness to things that the other parties or people who've been entrenched in party politics for decades really can't access. He seems to be beyond party politics, and I think that's a big part of the MAGA thing as well. It's not really about whatever false affiliation you have. It's more about your citizenship and investment in the nation itself and whether it should continue. Because I think there's, we're having a real dividing line between people who think America is a good thing or not.
Right.
As well. People who want to destroy history and basically just destroy the nation from the inside out and from the outside in. I think it's a lot of things. A lot of people have been dissatisfied for a long time, and he seems to be, speaking to those people. And also, I think, what he's putting together in terms of his cabinet seems to also be appealing to people from different, parts of the political spectrum.
Big time. He gets a lot
bigger. Yeah, it's bigger than just we're the Republicans, we're going to run the country. It's like, no, we have a vision for America that's beyond that.
Amazing. I think that's
amazing.
I think so, because it's paving the way for an acceptable liberal, and a liberal you could accept being brothers with in America, right? Because it's like, maybe you don't believe homeless should be made to serve, be indentured servants. Fine. You believe they require some welfare, but at least you don't think that America should be, should not exist anymore.
Mm-hmm. I did have an interesting interaction with a woman a few weeks past. I was volunteering at my church, and this woman came in, and she was, kind of down on her luck, but also had a bad mindset, which didn't help. But she mentioned something about how, what did she say? She said, you shouldn't call yourself an American unless you're, the descendant of an indigenous, nation that lived here. I'm like, well, those people didn't consider themselves American.
That's ridiculous.
American is a European word.
Yeah.
But okay.
That's absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, ridiculous too. And there's so many degrees, but yeah,
I know. We could definitely
I
go
know
off
a lot
on
of
that.
people who have similar attitudes, or maybe more articulate than this lady's, but it's not the first time I've come across some kind of ridiculous attitude like that.
An unacceptable almost attitude, like for that to maybe be thrown away, and you could actually have. It almost seems like you can't disagree right now, but with this new Overton window and this new and the dropping of neoliberal, whatever, it might make for an America where you can have a conversation, where you can actually have a union.
Yeah.
These are some of the things I'm thinking about.
When I was listening to the last segment, they were talking about how terrible it would be to have, people taken out of the country who are just here trying to live a better life.
Mm-hmm.
But they're here, under false pretenses, or they came into the country without, being documented.
Mm-hmm.
It's interesting how people don't see that as a problem, because, I'm sure if you or I snuck into another country and tried to set up another life, without any, going through any of the proper channels, we'd feel a pretty big weight over us because we've done something wrong.
Yeah.
I don't understand why people are so, they act as though because the people are here just working and earning money in whatever capacity they can, that means, because they're maybe not killing anyone or raping anyone or breaking any other laws that we know of, that it's okay. It's really strange to me. They've broken the law, period. And I've never been to another country. Every time I've traveled outside of the U.S., I've had to deal with, going through borders or, being interviewed when I come into the country via, at the airport. Why are you here? What's your business? How long are you going to be here? Why is it okay for certain people to, just come in when we don't know who they are or why they're here?
Our government and systems are so corrupt that to try and uncover this becomes a little bit of a sticky situation. Listen to what you're asking too, because if you and I did something like that in another country, like you just described, not only would everything you just said be true, we also, I don't think you or I would start getting any ideas like we would have even a sliver of a demand on top of all that you said, that we would think that we'd have a demand for the government, like the people in this cases are, the undocumented, they'll call them, and you got to let them stay, and they're just right, and they just wanted a better life, and so now you're saying those who want to deport them are wrong. Now they're doing something wrong. So we wouldn't think that we'd have a demand. But you're asking, why is it that that's wrong, or we're told that that's wrong? You got to understand, they're saying things like they're not hurting anyone. What are they talking about when whoever it is starts talking about an illegal immigrant saying, well, they're not hurting anyone, they're working, they just want a better life? They're talking about economic impact. And that's the truth, is these people, whether illegal or not, they add to an economy. There are people there are individuals, there are firms who they would be hurt in the pocket fiscally should you remove this economic impact. Should you remove this parallel economy from the government, from America?
Oh, I understand that perfectly. Yeah.
And so when they tell you they just want a better life, they're just here. They're here working. What they're saying is they're here adding to the economy and don't ruin my payday, man, citizen. That's what they're saying.
So, okay. So as an American citizen, I should feel bad that a business owner might, suffer because they're exploiting people from other countries who don't have other options for work, who are coming here to undercut Americans, basically. I don't understand. I don't have any.
100%.
That's what it sounds like to me. You could be hiring Americans.
And that is exactly what happens when illegal immigration gets dealt with. There was this chicken plant I was talking about the other day in, I forget now, Ohio or Mississippi or something. The day after they started going tough, they started going after employers who were employing illegal immigrants. The day after, I swear the day after, they started hiring Americans at higher wages. And then all those Americans who left their jobs to get the higher wages at the plants opened up a bunch of minimum wage jobs for a bunch of other Americans. It was the day after. Silicon Valley would have to start investing in Americans as opposed to bringing in Indians and all that to code for them or whatever they're doing. They would have to. It might hurt a little bit at the beginning, but eventually it would support America. It would be America first. And they would have to, tomorrow, start educating Americans to do the jobs that they were bringing in for.
I mean, what a novel idea.
Amazing.
But yeah, it is cheaper. I mean, I know many companies outsource labor to other countries, but that's even different than bringing in illegal, laborers to come live here and work here. If you want to employ somebody from another nation to come work in your company, you should be providing them a visa. We should be able to see what you're doing, how many people you're, taking in, and what you're paying them. I mean, right? I mean, if
very
a company
documented.
wants to hire somebody from another country, if I want to go work in another country, I have to get a work visa. It's not easy.
Right.
Why is it so difficult for Americans to go to other countries and do this stuff, but other people can come here and just totally establish themselves?
It points to just how captured and corrupt the whole thing is. So you can't even get a straight answer.
I mean, yeah, I don't have any hard feelings about these people either, or I want them to suffer, but it's just what's right.
And it's just not working. It's just not working for Americans. So, it's even the Americans, it's if they really even wanted to, they could meet the liberals in the middle. They could have their diverse metropolitan, whatever little liberal society they want to have. They could even do it. They just have to kind of wake up and realize it's got to be majority white.
Well, we're already diverse as a nation. This isn't about diversity. There's plenty of different nations within the nation, We've been made out of people from all over the world. So we don't need to bring in people that are undocumented. It's just my attitude about it. I know people who are immigrants, who went through all the processes. It's extremely unfair that people spend years getting themselves prepared to become citizens of another country, and then other people can just come in here and live anyway. What's the point of doing the right thing? What's the point of going through things the right way if other people aren't?
Well, money.
Yeah.
There's actual people who run governments around the world, and these are academics. And their philosophy, for example, behind removing criminal elements from a city. They'll say things like removing a parallel economy, even if it's illicit, too quickly is too destabilizing for an economy. So what is that in plain English? No, you can't put criminals in jail and get rid of crime too fast because they're making money with their drugs and bringing it into the economy by paying for other things. So, yeah, that's why you can't deal with crime. That's what they'll say, these academics.
Well, you know, I mean, sometimes you have to suffer in the short term to have a better long term.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean,
and that requires self-sacrifice. Yeah. And now you see why it's so difficult to do the right thing in America and in the government. Now you see the cancer that has been festering.
Jeez.
Amazing. Terry, anything else you want to say?
No.
Thank you so much for your call. No, thank you. Call me again.
All right. I know.
Keeping the conversation going and stuff, so I appreciate that. 888-775-3773. Incredible. Incredible. Let's see here. Bob, thank you so much for the super chat. Generous stuff. Bob, thank you. Very, very nice. And thanks, everyone, for the support. Always appreciated. All right, here. What were we talking about? We were talking about a bunch of stuff. Bunch of mess. What people want to see out of America. What do you want to see out of America? Some people think horrible things have already happened in America. They say November 6th or 5th or whatever, when Trump won, that day, already their rights were taken away, they say. They're saying to the young boys, they're calling them boys, they're saying, no, on November 6th, the girls cried and the boys played Minecraft. You saw that New York Times article? Dividing America and trying to pit the girls against the boys who are not even of voting age. They don't even vote. They're playing Minecraft. They're not even of voting age. And they want to get these girls who are not voting crying and fearful of their rights being taken away. And you know who did it? It's these boys. And you know, all they're doing is playing Minecraft and probably being racist and misogynist with each other, telling women to go make them a sandwich. Or worse, they're saying, your body, my choice. That's what they're saying. They're saying the boys played Minecraft. What a sick world we live in. What a sick, twisted world we live in, where the media would push this along like this is normal. And you wonder why there's even such a thing like men's rights. And and they'll say, we got to defend boys, young boys in the schools, they'll say, and they laugh at it, they deride it like, what is going on in this world that boys would need any sort of protection? And I'm not saying boys need to be called victims or anything, but they're growing up like this, and it seems to only be getting worse. They're growing up in a world where they're told things, and they're just playing Minecraft. You got to take it in. They're just playing Minecraft. And then they open up TikTok and they get this. They get all these girls who are their age, younger or older, but around their age, and they're all in school. I know a bunch of my listeners aren't in school anymore, so they wouldn't understand. But they're in school, and they open up TikTok and they get some stupid song made by some pop star or whatever that has, virality to it.
Put us in the barn, us and pigs on a Mississippi farm. In 9 months we'll have a kid you won't care about. And if the kid's not straight, white, now we guarantee a living hell. Murder in the name of a loving God. Our women are cattle, there's blood on our kids.
Our women are cattle? This is ridiculous. This is absolutely ridiculous. This is just absolutely ridiculous. Come on.
So you're being paid to not pay attention.
Pay attention to what? Lay it out for me. Spell it out for me. Educate me.
Does it have to happen to your mother?
What has to happen to my mother and sister? Exactly what are you talking about?
Your sister or your daughter for you to take it personal.
Exactly what, though? You know? And you wonder why the boys are in school going around saying, your body, my choice, they're saying. And they're putting out the letters. The letters are going to the parents, and they're saying, we regret to inform you that your school where your daughter is attending, there's misogyny afoot. And they're saying these letters are going out to schools in America. And you wonder what you think these boys really want to oppress women and take away, like, what do you think they really want? No, they're responding to this stupid stuff. What rights are you losing, ladies, really? I know these are young. I know they're young. Even in this New York Times op-ed, it says, I'm 16. On November 6th, the girls cried and the boys played Minecraft. So they're young, but these are the boys. They're growing up with these young girls. They're young as well, impressionable, many of them. Many of them have just accepted the world they live in and just how evil men are. And they've completely rejected any concepted notion of a word like masculinity and stuff like that. Not realizing they've thrown away the very thing that destroys all depression, anxiety, the very thing that destroys all doubt, the thing that destroys all fear, masculinity. And you wonder why these boys are lost and all that, and they're having trouble with these women. This is not to play the victim card here, like, oh, they're such poor little victims. Like, nobody feels like that about boys and men. They start complaining, it's a different thing. But I'm trying to express to you what a twisted kind of like a world it is a little bit. They're saying the boys did all this, and Trump's win, and like, I was like, does it have to happen to your mother for you to wake up? What has to happen? You people have gone insane. You people have gone absolutely insane. You understand that you've gone absolutely nuts. Tara Dublin. Here's a little interaction online. Then I'm going to get right to calls here. Thanks for holding patiently. 888-775-3773. Here's a little post, a little interaction online you might find funny. Tara Dublin. This is her name on X. Tara Dublin, rock star author and Kamala voter. My mother in New York keeps trying to help me. She tells me to go for a walk, go outside. Where am I supposed to go? Wherever I go, my brain goes with me, and I have no hope for the future. Ooh, someone should tell her all thoughts are all lies all the time. I don't want to feel like this for the next 4 years or even the next 4 minutes. Tara Dublin has the inability to endure. She can't even endure 4 minutes. It's not looking good, Tara. Don't you know that your troubles are only coming out of you, not from anywhere else? The reason you're unable to deal with 4 minutes is not because of Trump, Tara. Jennifer Taub responds, go walk to a playground where there are children enjoying the swings and slides, joyfully laughing. What does Tara Dublin, rock star author and Kamala voter, respond with? She says, sadly, the closest playground to me has been taken over by homeless people addicted to fentanyl, and it's not safe for me to be anywhere near there. Wow. That is a shot and a chaser all in one post. Do I really even need to explain? What are you afraid about, Tara? What is it about a Trump presidency you don't want? Law and order? What are you afraid about, Tara? Time to grow up. Let's get to this caller. Thanks for holding patiently. Caller, your name and where are you calling from? Go ahead.
Yeah, it's Mr. Pink. You know where I am.
What's up, Mr. Pink? California in the house. How you doing, sir?
Yes, sir. Doing good. Well, mental illness continues to spiral out of control. The reactions to Trump. I just think I think more of them are seeing day by day where their mindset and stuff got us, you know, and I don't know. It's just it's good to see that some of them are kind of seeing the light, actually.
Yeah.
Do you think? I mean, there's some
like
that
as
are,
much
like,
as you
going
can,
way
right?
far.
Even physically, even just seeing that. Well, you know what? This immigration stuff is too far. That makes it's like, what is the truth, right? Are they seeing the truth? I don't know. Maybe not necessarily, but is the truth enough for me? You know what I mean? As a when we're talking about fellow Americans, it's like seeing the light physically is, you know, in that way is good for me. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, it's like I don't want to go all Q on stuff or whatever. You know, there was a time when I read through that stuff and everything, but I don't put much validity in it. But there was a post that was made a long time ago when Biden won quote unquote in 2020, and it simply said it had to be this way. And, you know, you take what you will from that, but what I got from that is that maybe there needed to be a realization of how bad it could get under those policies and under that mindset. Maybe they needed to see it firsthand, like the people taking over hotels and getting free credit cards and stuff in New York, and how bad the epidemic of theft and things got here in California, for instance. Like they made the law, if you steal $999 or less of stuff from a place, that's a misdemeanor, right?
Right.
Well, over the past election, you saw how the complete reverse course of that got passed.
All of that's being reversed, yeah. In California particularly.
Yeah, they put it on the dock, and it said I think it was like 78%.
Yep.
Voted to make that now a felony if you steal like that from a store, like
Prop
straight
36.
Out. So yeah, so that's it, and you know that's like a completely, you know, we're in like a 75, or I don't know how many people voted for Kamala, but like a lot of those people saw the policies in action and were even like, whoa, this is like crazy. And like here in San Francisco, a complete outsider, he's still got a Democrat title next to his name, but a complete outsider, not establishment chosen person won for mayor here. You know, the Lurie guy, he was like a charity type of like runner or something. Like he set up a lot of stuff. I think he's the heir to the Levi Strauss
really
fortune or something. Yeah. And you know, I put him as a second option because I voted for the super MAGA Chinese lady that got like 4,500 votes. Wasn't even a contest for her. But
no, I forget her name.
Ellen Zhao.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, she came over to our church wearing her MAGA hat and trying to get some votes. Yeah, I met her then. That's pretty funny.
Man, I wonder how many people voted Kamala but voted against. It'd be nice to see those stats. How many people voted Kamala Harris and Gavin or whatever, but voted against Prop 36 or 4? I forget if it was 4 or against to make retail, to like recriminalize and increase the penalties of those retail crimes you're talking about. Yeah, I wonder how many of those people voted Kamala anyways.
Yeah, right. So they went with the person and the D next to the name, but then they voted against their policies that were enacted over the past 4 years.
I wonder how many. That'd be nice to see the stats on that.
That's the thing is like even like Adam Schiff, who like everybody in their right mind knows is pencil neck. Yeah. He's completely corrupt and like made the whole Russia story up and all of that. But I think the thing is especially in the big cities here, is that they're just programmed to vote for the person with the Democrat next to their name. There's no independent thinking going on there. I just think they go, blue, D, right. Okay, that's what I do.
And then enough pain, it's like, ooh, oh yeah, actually, all this crime is pretty bad. And it wasn't even, it's like no thinking beyond pain and feelings. Oh, you know what? This hurt. All this crime actually hurts. Yeah, prop no. And no thinking, no thought at all. They probably voted Kamala anyways. They probably didn't even think about the DA.
Yeah, not at all. They just go, oh, it's blue. That person's blue.
Right.
You know? And I think somebody did the observation. I think it was on Rogan. I don't want to plug a competitor like Hake says, but he I think he was talking about it with Theo Vaughn and how they looked at the map and basically there aren't blue states anymore. There's only blue cities.
Oh yeah. No, when you look at the maps, when you look at the electoral maps by county as well, it's crazy how much of the country is red.
It's pretty much all red except for I mean, especially if you look with the general election this time, she only won the big city centers. That's it. Like she won Detroit, she won. She didn't even win Green Bay in Wisconsin. I think that was red, but it was like lean red. But L.A., SF, Seattle, Philadelphia area, like everywhere else but Philadelphia in Pennsylvania voted for Trump.
Wow.
You know. It's so super obvious. Like go even on a small level, like go look at North Carolina, right, which is where I grew up.
Mm-hmm.
There's 4 sort of big cities in North Carolina, right? And they don't really qualify as a big city, but there's Charlotte, Greensboro, Raleigh, and Fayetteville, right?
Mm-hmm.
And only around those specific areas was it blue on the map, but everywhere else in the mountains and all the rural areas across the whole beach, it's it's just so crazy. I don't know how they only have control over people's minds in big cities. I don't know how that works or what happened.
I don't know. It's good question. It's a good question. But even crazy. California, it's just like red. And you just see the city centers blue.
Yeah, it's L.A., San Diego, and San Francisco.
Yeah. Yeah, it makes you think.
The interior of the country, which is literally all strawberry fields all the way up the highway, you know?
Right.
It's all you see. I remember I used to hitchhike around and you go up the 101 in the middle of the state, or sort of middle. It's in between LA and SF, and it's not the Bay Highway. But if you hitchhiked all the way up to 101, it was pretty much just farm fields of strawberries and different. Yeah, it's basically the majority of the country's produce comes from the state.
Yeah,
you know, except for oranges in Florida. But so all the people that are actually working, the blood, sweat, and tears of the country, do not agree with these policies and agree with that party at all. So I just don't get how that only the city centers are programmed like that. It's weird.
Makes you think a little. Mr. Pink, man, appreciate that. Anything else you want to say before we move the wheels?
I just I got a little observation, and not that my focus is on this dude, but have you noticed? I don't know if we've heard, but have you? It's been about 2.5 weeks. I think Fred ghosted on Vaughn.
Oh, yeah, I don't know. I haven't heard from him.
Yeah, he's just completely. He's not in the chat. He ain't called at all ever since that election night. He has not
really?
Been.
Since election night?
No, I haven't heard Frederick, a word. Not one peep. I feel the last time he called you is when he was tripping out. When he was tripping out about. Yeah, for sure. But I think the last time he called you, he was tripping out about 1798. Remember?
Yeah, they're bringing back slavery.
Yeah, it's like I wonder, maybe did they get him? Did they get him for the cotton picking?
Oh yeah, maybe he's off on maybe he got swept up. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, Frederick. If you got swept up to one of those
maybe he got the text
plantations.
message and he got the text message like Jesse was talking about, and he went in and was like, "Oh, okay, I guess."
Oh yeah, he didn't even question it. He's just like, "Darn, there's that slavery. It's returned, just like I said."
All right,
and then he went.
1798. Guess I gotta go.
Here it is. Oh darn, they called me, and so he went off. No, I don't know where he is, but I wish him well. I hope he's well, and don't worry, Frederick. You come back to the chat. You don't listen to these people. They're all just excited and hyped up because Trump won. They'd be feeling just as bad if it was the other way around. Don't take it too deeply. Come on back, Frederick. Come on back, baby. It's okay.
All right. You have a good show, buddy.
Call me again, Mr. Pink. Take care.
Yeah, you got it, bro. See ya.
Caller, your name and where you calling from. You're on the air.
Oh, it's me, huh?
Yes, sir.
My name is Robert. I'm from Kansas.
How you doing, Robert? Nice to hear from you.
Hey, Nick. Good to hear your voice. I have a topic. My topic is like UBI, homelessness. But
nice.
I wanted to say first, if I could get it out of the way real quick. I have I think it's Josh in Georgia.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if he's from Georgia, but you have a Josh from Georgia, I think it's Georgia.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, basically he just been talking shit, and I just want to let him know that if he wants to meet me out there at church or whatever.
No, that's ridiculous, man. You can't. No, I don't care about that. I do.
No, I'm just saying.
You cannot call my show to set up a fight at church with another person in the chat. That is not.
Well, no.
No. That's ridiculous.
I don't hate him or anything.
No, it's okay. I'm not even going there. I don't care if you hate him or not.
No.
I'm simply making it clear you cannot call the show to set up to set up a fight, a physical fight.
Well,
and not only that, the venue you chose was at our church, no less. To set up a physical fight with someone in the chat, Robert, I suggest you drop that right away. It's not important.
I apologize, Nick.
No problem at all. Apology accepted.
Okay, I'm sorry. That's not what I meant. Like at church, I meant like if we go out to the beach, we get Hake out there with a camera.
Nope. Well, I don't care about that, sir. I don't care about who, what, where, why, when, any about that stuff with Josh or anything.
I'm talking like on camera. I'm not.
No, but I don't care about the details or why you want to fight him or what the ish talk is about. I suggest we move on.
This guy be calling in, and
and it's no problem either. By the way, man. But appreciate your call, sir. Go ahead.
Hey, no, you're getting hang up.
No, I'm not. I'm not hanging up. I'm not hanging up.
Okay, well,
Robert's cool with Robert's cool with me. Robert's cool with me. No problem.
Yes, sir. Okay, let's get on to something different then.
Yes, sir.
And God bless Josh, and maybe he's just kind of a mildly retarded black guy. I think maybe is what that is. Okay.
I say we move on, man. That's between you and him.
All right. Well, yes. Okay, Nick. Okay, let's move on. So what I was wondering, my reason for my call, Nick, is you or Bond or Jesse or whoever, you guys, you seem to be really against something called universal basic income.
Ooh.
And I'm kind of curious to ask you is why would you be against that?
My question, I almost hate to answer your question with a question but I've always wondered about the UBI stuff. Why are you so sure it would work? What evidence do you have of that? In fact, we have a giant trove of evidence and data, hard data that proves UBI wrong. I want to understand what in your mind tells you think UBI, giving everyone a basic income, why that would work at all, or that would be even the tiniest bit positive. In your mind, why do you think that works at all?
Well, see, the thing about UBI is that it goes to workers as well. So if you have a job and you make, as far as my idea, what I would advocate for is basically if you make under $100,000 a year, you know, you would be prorated from 88,000 to 100,000, where you would get $12,000 a year, just $1,000 a month, right? That's what you would be given to everybody. And so if you have a job, you make, let's say you make $75,000 a year, the government would just stack another 12 grand right on top of your paycheck. And so you would have that much more discretionary income, right? To hire me, right? Like I do landscaping. So you'd have that much more money to hire me.
Can I interject just one moment, Robert? This is interesting, man. And I want to, and I would be happy to discuss the effects and possible effects, etc., of a subsidized income of an individual. But first, we got to deal with the number one. First, if we're going to talk about universal basic income, first we have to deal with its like primary purpose, which is to give everyone, no matter, and specifically for people who are not working, it is to give everyone a basic income, whether you do work or not. And so first, let's deal with that, right? To say, and then we could deal with, let's say you're working and you make a certain amount of money. I'd want to understand why the government, why do you think that's a good idea to subsidize their income and bring them up for whatever reason? We could get to that. But first, why do you think it's at all, why do you think giving everyone a basic income, why do you think that's positive and would work in any way?
Well, I mean, you live in, I know you're from Canada, or you're from where you are, but you live in LA now. And I know that even where I'm at, you know, we have homeless, it's mostly men, right? Mostly homeless men, but we have homeless here too. Mm-hmm. And what you could do, Nick, if every single person, it doesn't matter who you are, if every living person was given, let's say $1,000 a month, you could literally outlaw homelessness. And you could say, you are going to pay for an apartment with this money. You're going to have a place to sleep, a place to eat, a place to be safe, and you're going to get the fuck off my street.
Let's keep it clean with the language, sir.
I thought we're at night here. I'm sorry.
I know. I guess I've made it difficult for people to understand. That was a little too far for me, maybe. Sorry.
I won't say that.
Keep going. No worries about that. No worries about what just happened. You're saying give everyone enough money and they could get an apartment. They get off the streets. Okay.
You make it illegal.
How do you know that would happen?
Well, we have
countless data. We have massive amounts of data showing the absolute opposite happens. People squander that money and they get worse. Way worse.
Well, not if you legally enforce it with our law enforcement, then you don't have to worry about that. You say, no, if you're living on the street, we're going to come pick you up, arrest you, take you in, give you your UBI, and we're going to stick you in an apartment, and we're going to make you pay for it. I mean, that's what you do. You say, hey, here's your place to live. Get off the street. It's an interesting thing you've brought up, but we have to bring it back into context. You're saying this seems like quite a massive complicated solution for something that's way simpler, because you're saying we give everyone a UBI and this will fix homelessness because we'll make homelessness illegal, and now they have to use their UBI money to live somewhere. But you're forced. It's like imagine having to pay your children to do their chores. You know what I mean? It's like, that's your great big idea. It's like, imagine you have children. Imagine you had a household and the children refuse to pick up after themselves. They refuse to do the chores. They refuse to do anything. And you go up to your wife and you're like, guess what, honey? I came up with the greatest idea ever. We'll pay them. Wouldn't you laugh at that? You would laugh at that. You'd say, like, that's your great big idea. You have that little authority that you have to pay your children. You know, that's the same thing with this homeless stuff. You want to go all the way around and pay them, and then go all the way around and make it illegal to be out in the street. Now you got to do this legislation for what? For something that could be dealt with by just saying, hey, guess what? You can't be a vagrant.
We're not allowing you to do that. And no, we're not going to pay you either. Yeah, it sounds mean. Oh, but what? I was a homeless person this whole time and you're not even going to pay me? Yeah, guess what? We're not going to do that. Why can't we do it that way?
Well, if they have,
do you feel bad for them or something? Do you feel like they deserve a basic income? I want to understand your thinking on that.
Well, it's just a matter of the reality of the situation. If you have no money to pay for a living situation, right? Like they don't have any money. They can't even afford to buy a 5x5, apartment. Like they have no money. So,
but you have money, right? You have money enough to pay for your food and where to live, right?
What do you mean, me personally?
Yeah.
You're talking about me personally?
Yeah.
Yeah, man, I got a bunch of money. Yeah.
And so how come the person on the street can't do what you did?
Money, man. That's all I got.
Well,
that's all the only thing I have.
Well, if you were able to work and get so much, why can't the person on the street work just enough to eat and live somewhere? I know you were able to work and get so much. Why can't they do a fraction of that?
Well, no. Hey, listen. I don't have so much. I'm just.
Well, whatever you've earned, why can't they do a fraction of that?
Well, I'm just a reality of the situation we're in. I know you live in L.A., man. I know you see it. I live in a much smaller town, and I see it too.
Right.
So, okay, so I'm just trying to find a solution. Now there's another part to this UBI thing.
But you've taken like multiple steps. You've gone like you've come up with like a really grand and complicated and expensive solution for something that's as simple as, hey, you're not allowed to be a vagrant here. So that sounds like weakness already. That sounds like weakness. Well, we have to bribe these people to not be on the streets. Okay, so you're weak, is what you're saying.
I'm weak.
Right.
Like you making it personal, man?
No, it's not personal. But I'm just saying, if you were a voter or a leader presenting this to me, I'd think, wow, you're weak and have no authority over this homeless situation.
Oh, trust me, brother. I got some authority.
Well, clearly, no. You have to pay them off. You have to bribe them to stop them from doing something that's already wrong.
They have to have the ability to rent even like a very small space, right? Like I'm not talking about the luxury apartment here. I'm talking they could have a storage container that we build outside of Los Angeles there. But you have to pay for it. Someone has to maintain it. It's going to cost money, and so.
It's an interesting idea, if I may. What's missing? You've brought up. When someone brings up a solution, or not even a solution, but when someone brings up a brand new idea, you wouldn't need. It would be able to stand on its own 2 feet. And here's what I mean by that: you had to justify this UBI stuff. You had to come up with. You had to present it as a solution to a big problem that it bothers a lot of people, homelessness. But that doesn't answer the question of universal basic income. Why, in your mind, why are people receiving this money for nothing, and why do you think that's a good idea? And you see what I'm asking you here without you presenting it as a solution to homelessness. Tell me why these people deserve this money. For doing nothing.
Yes, sir, Nick. I don't know if you heard me earlier, but I do want to have a conversation with you, so I appreciate.
I'm kind of rambling. Sorry. Please go on.
No, that's fine. I do want to have a conversation, so I'm glad you had me on the show.
Yeah.
Okay. So, let's see.
Why do you think they deserve to have this money? Why do you think people deserve a universal basic income?
First of all, okay, and I'm going to get to that. That's what I want to get to that point. I do want to get there. I just haven't gotten there yet. Elon Musk has mentioned it. Elon Musk had just mentioned it very recently, and there's a reason why he did. And as far as like why I want people to have the resources to take the basic care of themselves is that, Nick, we just print the money, man. We just print it. Okay, it's not. You just push a button and you just make zeros in the account. Like that's what fiat currency is. It's not gold. It's not gold, Co.
You're describing how easy it could be, but you're still not telling me why you think they deserve this income. You're saying you're saying people basically deserve to take care of themselves.
Well,
And
okay, so let me get to
but
my
that makes
point.
that implies. Am I so far correct in what you're describing? You haven't quite answered the question, but you kind of did. You kind of answered it.
No,
and you said
you're right. I haven't.
they deserve it because they deserve to take care of themselves. Right? Is that fair to say?
Well, no,
People
you're right,
deserve
but
to
I
take
haven't-
care of themselves.
Well, I haven't answered the question. You're
I'll
right.
let you
and I
continue.
wanna get to
Apologies.
that.
No worries. No worries. Continue.
Okay. Well, if you let me get to it, it's as far as why people would deserve to have a place to sleep and to cook their food and to be safe at night, that's maybe I'm just a socialist, right? So you could call me that. That's true. But the thing is that Elon Musk has come out recently. Now, maybe me and Elon Musk are just dummies, right? And we don't get it. Maybe you're the smart one, Nick.
Maybe.
But
let's find out.
He came out. He came out and he said we're going to have UBI. Elon Musk, right? Elon Musk, the guy who got Trump elected.
Mm-hmm.
So this is not a joke. We're going to do this. And the thing is that what's going to happen, folks, is we have something called AI now. Okay. And AI is going to take a lot of jobs. And then we also have something called robotics. And robotics are going to be able to do the work because in an economy, what is necessary is the creation of value. Okay, that's what the definition of economy is. If you can create value, whether you're a farmer, a doctor, a lawyer, and I don't care what you are, you're a broadcaster like yourself, and one day, Nick, you're going to have so much attention you can't believe it. But the thing is that you create value of some kind in the economy, you get paid, right? But if we have robots they have combines now that you can just program, and the combine will harvest all your wheat for you, right? And so if we have machines, we have robots, and we have AI that is creating the value necessary for us to have an economy, all of a sudden you're going to have everybody out of a job, okay? Because they're going to do most of the work. And so you give a UBI so that people have the resources to go to the store and buy some food. That's all.
But
it's not about life.
Yeah, okay, but Robert, you described. I'm not sure if Elon Musk is. Personally, I don't know if he's ever supported anything like a UBI or anything even somewhat like it.
You can use the internet.
I've heard him describe what you're talking about this like basically a different economy in the future where labor is handled by robotics and all that. But what you and Elon are talking about is something that's not happening right now, right? You're talking about we're talking about a society and world so different that we can't even begin to describe it. So yeah, maybe in something like that's something you understand, like you're talking about a different world, a world that doesn't exist. And in that world, you're saying maybe we're going to need to pay people money to buy what they need because the robots are going to handle all the labor. That is wildly, wildly different, and quite a stretch for you to take this hypothetical scenario and then say that's why today's America needs UBI. It's wildly different situations, completely different. Would you agree?
Yes, sir. I agree.
And the question remains, why do you think they deserve it? Why do you think these people deserve it? I guess you kind of said because people deserve to take care of themselves and cook their food and all that. I would ask, why do you think that? The question, begs the question still. Why do you think people deserve that?
Why does a human being deserve a roof over their head? Nick?
Yeah.
Is that what you're asking?
Yeah. I am asking that.
Well, I guess in some ways we don't. You're right. I mean,
well, no,
you could live outside. Yeah.
No, but I mean,
it's hard though. It's hard. It's.
Right.
I mean,
it goes back to what you were saying. You're saying people deserve to take care of themselves, but I don't quite understand that statement because when I'm looking at a homeless person on the street, I'm not thinking, wow, they deserve to take care of themselves and someone else took away that right from them. Someone else, some other entity took away that right or whatever for them to take care of themselves. No, I see someone who was never taking care of themselves in the first place. And you're telling me that giving them money will enable them to take care of themselves? That's ridiculous, and you know it is. They were not taking care of themselves before any of the money or with or without the money. That's not the problem.
Yeah. it's almost always it's a mental disorder and drug use. That's almost always what it is.
Right.
And so you're right. If you gave them money and they were to use that money for drugs the way that California does now, California gives about $700 a month to every homeless, and they just buy drugs and live on the street. Right?
Wow.
And so what I'm saying is that we outlaw homelessness. We make it illegal. You cannot live on the damn street. Sorry, I cussed again. I'm sorry.
Thank you.
You cannot live on the street. I'm trying. Hey, Nick, I've been working on my cussing.
You want to follow decorum and rules as far as I'm concerned. You may be wild. Yeah. You may be shooting from the hip sometimes, but that's how you've always been to me, Robert. I don't have no problem. Yeah, you're saying change the laws, though. Okay, on that, and then we'll move on.
If you're a homeless person out there with your sign, then the cop picks you up and they take you into the station. They process you and they say, "Here's your $1,000 a month. You're going to go pay this landlord over here at this minimal housing unit scenario that we have developed, and you're going to have a safe place to be, and you're not going to be homeless anymore." That's all. You're just giving them.
I feel like that's a nuclear solution for something that requires just like small arms fire.
Man, I'm looking at this chat, dude. You talk about oh my gosh, dude, this chat, dude. I tell you what, bro, this chat is off.
Don't worry about the snake pit.
No, man, the snake pit don't let nothing go, huh? They
do not.
No, man, it's yeah. So hey.
Yeah, you know what? It's like, you know what? You make me want to discuss with you creative solutions to homelessness, but that still doesn't quite prove to me why someone would deserve something for nothing. That's kind of the big one for me, Robert. Maybe we could talk about it another time, man.
Hey, well, if you want to let me go, I was going to ask about Canada and cooking, but if you want to let me go,
what's your question about?
Okay.
Is it quick? Let's do it fast.
Well, yeah, it's quick. I was just going to ask you, sir. I'm trying to think. I sometimes, see, I'm a military guy, and I went all the way around the globe Earth, right? The globe Earth, right?
Controversial.
But yeah, so I went all the way around. Like usually people go somewhere and they come back the same way. I actually got to go all the way around, bro. You know what
That's
I'm saying?
awesome, man. I don't know how many people can say that.
I don't think I've ever been to Canada. And so I was just wondering, like, I've heard that it is absolutely gorgeous, like just beautiful.
Yes.
And I hope I get to go there someday.
Yeah, man. It's geographically beautiful. Cities, there's cities where you wouldn't even know. Let's say you go to a place like Hamilton, Ontario, waterfront, steel, blue collar city. You wouldn't know that you're in the city with the in an area, I forget what they call it, but it's an area with the most beautiful waterfalls in the entire world, they say. In the entire world. It's called Coots. So that's one place you could check out. All of Ontario has beautiful, like if you're talking about geographically. And then besides that, just some of the people there, man. Big time.
Yeah, and that's what I was wondering is that, like, where do I go, Nick? And I guess you kind of answered my question already. Is I was going to ask you, where should I go if I did go to Canada? And then I also have heard that the people up there are just like whenever a Canadian wants to be rude, they just say, "Figure it out, bud."
Figure it out, bud. Yep, figure it out, buddy. There's someone in like some kind of government line in front of you, and they're like fumbling around with a pencil in the form they have to write out so that the line can move along, and they're looking around with his face, and you look at him, and you say, "Figure it out, buddy."
Yeah, David Morgan in chat said British Columbia, and I mean, when you do know geography and you do look at maps, because I'm a big map guy. I'm a Gleason's map guy. If you ever look up a Gleason's map,
controversial.
It'll show you. Well, that'll show you the real shape of the Earth. And Nick, something about flat Earth, that you're a pilot, right? So
something like that.
What I want to know,
DEI pilot.
What I want to know, Nick, is that let's say I want to go to Johannesburg, South Africa, right? That's where I want to go.
Look, it's flat for our purposes. It's flat for our purposes. In those small situations, it's seemingly flat for our purposes, okay? That doesn't mean it's a flat Earth.
If I want to go to Johannesburg, right? Let's say I want to do that just because I want to get all the way over there. Why do I have to land in London or Doha? Why do I have to land there first if it's not the Gleason's map? Why do I go there first?
I honestly forget. I have to Google this. I'm a DEI pilot.
Okay, and my last question, Nick, and I'll hang up. Okay, you're a cook, right? You're a cook.
Oh, yeah.
You cook. Okay. So, like, let's say with your experience, and I'm not a cook, and I wish I was. I'm learning. Let's say if I said, okay, I want to cook something. What is the dish? What would you have me, like, you're like, okay, Robert, I've made these, I made everything. What would you have me cook, Nick?
Like to learn?
No, not to learn, but just like, what would be like
if you were to come into my kitchen, you're like, hey, Nick, let's start 101. Let's start cooking 101. Show me the ropes. I get you on egg patrol.
Egg patrol.
Yeah, I get you on the eggs. We'll start fried. We'll start with a fried sunny side up. Let's see if you can figure it out, bud. We'll go sunny sides. We'll do the eggs. That's what we'll do. We'll do the scrambles, soft scramble, hard scrambles. We'll do the eggs.
No, dude. I'm talking like, is it duck? Is it steak? I mean, what do I need to like? I mean, I know eggs, bro. I got all the eggs.
Are you sure? I don't know. Sir. Everybody says they know eggs. Until I put him through the ringer.
All right. Brother,
I remember I started at the Chateau Marmont, and I started cooking besides Mikey, who'd been cooking there for like 15 years, and my sous chef there, she pits me up against him on an egg off, and I beat Mikey easy peasy. You know what he does? He puts olive oil in his pan. And I'm like, this is your 15 years. This is your cook of 15 years. He drowns an egg in olive oil and fries it up. What is this? What is this? And if what I'm saying to you doesn't seem like appalling to you, then you obviously don't know eggs.
Hey, at least we have Mikey, right? at least we have Mikey. And we have Hake and we got Mike.
Yes, sir.
And God Almighty, we got Jesse Lee Peterson, don't we, brother?
Always, man. Thanks for your call. As always, Robert. Call me again.
How lucky are we, brother? Okay.
Big time. Big time. Take care. Take care.
Bye-bye. I'll let you hang up. Bye-bye.
Callers, I wanted to get to y'all, but it's like way over time here. Appreciate you holding. There's a couple of you there. I appreciate it. Call me tomorrow. I'll be back. In fact, tomorrow we have a little bit of a special stream. I'll be starting a little early. I'll let you know in the morning. Make sure you like and subscribe. That way you can be on top of it when I give you the information. But tomorrow, Elon Musk is launching his special little Starship. Starship is launching tomorrow. And I will be having a special guest to watch the Starship launch with all of you together tomorrow. And we'll discuss many things, take calls, yuck it up, and beyond. Okay, so we're going to watch the Starship launch together. I believe that's around, I think I might start streaming tomorrow at around 1 p.m. Pacific time. Like I said, I'll let you know in the morning. But we got Bill tomorrow. It's the Bill stream tomorrow. Bill and Nick watching the Starship launch together with all of you and calls and more. But for now, take care. I will see all of you tomorrow. Take care. Bye-bye.